What's nice about the so-called old-school bodybuilding diet of the fit and strong is that they always seem to work out just fine. They are also free of the fancy recipes pretentiousness, such as you may see on the internet any day of the week. While your patience may wear thin trying to read through some of these 21st century recipes, they may well confuse you too. And the thing about a lot of the new recipes that you'll see on the net is that, one way or another, they're all based on the old. So then, here's what on the menu. I'm listing 15 reasons to follow an old-school bodybuilding diet for you here. I'd also like to characterize what they mean by old-school eating habits. And what ingredients are you likely to find listed in an old-school bodybuilding diet? And 3 essential ingredients that will always be included. So incorporating this diet into your old-school training program will give you a great head start to building a more leaner, toned physique. So what characterizes old-school eating habits? These days, a lot of guys forget to add this to their daily meal plan. It's called breakfast, and it's still the most important meal of the day. There will still be lunch and finally dinner, or supper. The primary number of the old-school eating schedule is 3 square meals a day. Breakfast, lunch and supper. And it is very much a meat-based diet. What ingredients emphasized in bodybuilding diet? 3 primary ingredients have always been included in the old-school bodybuilding diet. Never a truer word was said when the old blue-collar worker referred to himself as a meat and potatoes man. Meat would always be loaded with his essential protein, and potatoes had sufficient reserves of carbohydrates. But the old-school muncher should never forget to eat his vegetables, just like his mama always told him, because many of these contain his essential vitamins. Intro to 3 essential ingredients. No weight training or bodybuilding meal plan can be without its 3 essential ingredients, namely, proteins, carbohydrates or carbs, and vitamins and minerals. What's also interesting about the old-school eating habits is that these guys never need to chug on supplementary shakes or drinks to make up for their shortfall of these 3 key ingredients. They've taken time and trouble over their shopping lists and the preparation of their meals. A very old-fashioned habit anyhow. Why would they be needed for bodybuilding in particular? It goes without saying that old-school, as well as millennial, bodybuilders will need their strength. That's why there's going to be a lot of emphasis on including protein in the diet, on a daily basis. The carbs are necessary for the following reason. Apart from building strength, the bodybuilder is also looking to bulk up on muscle and dispose of any remaining fatty tissue. This is what the carbs do. They break up the fats. Protein. Vitamins are important because they help to protect and boost the body's immune system. When undergoing a heavy weight training or bodybuilding routine throughout the week, the body's immune system will always be under attack, one way or another. The weight trainer is deliberately placing a lot of strain on his body and muscles. But with sufficient protein in his diet, the rest and recovery processes can be shorter. Carbohydrates. A lot has been said about the contentious aspect of carbohydrates. It is indeed a fatty issue. But if the man is doing sufficient exercise and is generally a physically active guy, he should not have to worry about accumulating too much carbs. He'll be burning it off most of the time. And take the hearty potato as a good ingredient example. He can supplement white potatoes with the much larger sweet potato. Vitamins. It is far less fattening, and yes, it does taste sweeter. So, if you've got a sweet tooth, then this is the veg for you. The sweet potato is also loaded with its own essential vitamins. And it's a versatile vegetable as well. Look up all other veggies on the net and then see how many vitamins you can count up. Go through each one and see how specific it is in its tasks. Most of them, you will find, will have antioxidant properties as well. Just cause for those 15 good reasons. Finding even half a dozen reasons for going on an old-school bodybuilding diet, never mind 15 reasons to follow an old-school bodybuilding diet, could have been challenging if but for the fact that a guy like me is able to read between the lines. I believe that I've already given you 2 important reasons which I will repeat: emphasize protein in the diet, and stick to 3 meals a day. 15 good reasons, drumstick chicken roll if you please. Let's see now how far we can go in finding motivations and tallying up a total of 15 reasons to follow an old school bodybuilding diet. I think the easiest and most user-friendly way to do this is to highlight my research notes in the chronological order that I followed. Hope it works for you too. Number 1, low carb. It turns out that carbs are not entirely essential for building muscle. But as I pointed out earlier, they'll be needed for breaking down fats and replenishing energy reserves. Number 2, carb cycling. I had no choice but to repeat this new term. Hope it doesn't bounce back on us. How else to put it? They say that you work for 6 days. And then you rest on the 7th day. This is what's happening here. It's also called your cheat day. You're allowed to bulk up on carbs on this day in order to replenish glycogen stores in the muscles. But you're to lay off the junk food. Period. Number 3, protein, again. Lots of it. Every single day. 3 times a day, even at breakfast time, and this you can do by putting together a couple of eggs. Although I must say that my standard minimum is still 3 eggs every other morning. Number 4, animal content. I'm in favor of this because of the taste value. Red meat is a big plus amongst the old school bodybuilders, but if they're conscious about their heart health, they'll be reminding you to cut down. In any case, there's meat-based protein alternatives in the form of poultry and fish. And eggs again. Number 5, Vince Girondas. Back in the day, long before Arnold Schwarzenegger, there was the famous bodybuilder, Vince Girondas. He's famous for another reason, the good old-fashioned steak and eggs diet. This has got to get cardiologists and vegans shrieking. But it's loaded with protein. Instead of using supplement protein shakes, Girondas would be packing in 2 pounds of meat at the minimum. Number 6, most natural protein shake ever, and yes, those old guys were making their own protein shakes. The above said Girondas would be using no less than 36 eggs to make up one batch. You'd need 9 eggs, a cup of milk, and even a heavy cup of cream to make up your 4 before and after shakes for the day. Me, I substituted the cream with freshly squeezed orange juice. Gorgeously delicious, let me tell you. Number 7, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've got to talk about Arnold. He was the Mr. Universe back in the 70s before he became the Terminator. Arnold's also famous for being a green-friendly goobernator. So, while his protein-focused diet was rich too, he switched to utilizing free-range eggs and meat. Long before organic was on everyone's lips, Arnold was chowing on it. He saw the value in excessive consumption of hormone-free but protein-rich meat and dairy. Number 8, utilizing natural fats, instead of carbo-loading. The above said bodybuilders could supplement their zero-carb diets with typical carnivore ingredients, only natural coming from animals. The combo effect here was the ability to bulk the muscles and shed the fat in less than a year. Number 9, the perfect physique. Wouldn't you want that? The guys of the modern era of bodybuilding were way too freaky. Too much muscle in all the wrong areas. Protruding veins and distended guts. Not healthy. But not old Arnie. Not only did he have the perfect look, he had the classic look, all from his work in the gym and his good old-fashioned bodybuilding diet. Number 10, simplify your eating habits. Earlier, I did say no less than 3 square meals a day. But what if you're really working out, weight training or bodybuilding? To help keep up your strength, you're going to need no less than 5-6 meals a day. But the key here was that all these meals would be a lot smaller than your Friday night feast of ribs and fries. Number 11, focus on whole foods. The Terminator was wholly focused on whole foods. He's a guy who shopped around to eliminate processed ingredients and refined sugars from his diet. Number 12, why smaller meals were better. Mr. Schwarzenegger knew back then that more but smaller meals could help keep his metabolism high and allow him to work out harder but more efficiently than the average weightlifter. But when you add up the sum total of what he consumed in a single day, you would be shocked. How does up to 5,000 calories a day sound? Number 13. Back to the protein. This time, however, recognize it as your body's most important macronutrient for the purposes of both growing your muscle tissues and repairing it. In order to bulk up effectively, the amount of protein consumed in a single day should also be in proportion to your regular or exact weight. So, if you're weighing in at 180 pounds, you're looking to consume a minimum of 180 grams of protein in your daily diet. Number 14. Best protein sources are still meat-based. But if you're not eating red meat, you've got the pick of poultry foods: chicken, turkey, ostrich, and fish. So many different varieties here, I can't even begin to mention them. Go back to red meat for a second. Just make sure it is lean meat you're consuming. And again, your balanced protein diet for the day is not complete without your free-range eggs, scrambled, boiled or raw. Number 15. Old school timing was everything. Muscle replenishment results just right if you are able to consume moderate amounts every 3 hours or so throughout the day. Each portion should be no more than 30 grams on the average. And that, fellas, is a wrap. Be sure to like and share this video for more in the future. Also, go over to my website at tacticalelitefitness.com to get more advice on how you can build muscle at home through strategic workouts and diet.